What if your greatest enemy was yourself? A team of brilliant scientists discovers that time flows backward on an uncharted planet, and soon they meet their future selves from a timeline where humanity has been wiped out by alien invaders. Together, these fractured versions of the same people must unravel the secrets of time itself to rewrite history and save mankind. Can they overcome mistrust, fear, and the ticking clock before it's too late? Subscribe now to witness this mind-bending journey through time and survival. The discovery of PSR 47b was hailed as one of the most significant breakthroughs in human space exploration. Orbiting a dying star at the edge of known space, the planet exhibited properties unlike anything ever recorded. Its atmosphere shimmered with strange quantum fluctuations, and gravitational readings suggested anomalies inconsistent with any natural phenomenon. But what truly captivated the scientific community was the behavior of time near its surface. It appeared to flow backward. Dr. Evelyn Carter, lead physicist aboard the Kronos station, oversaw the project designed to study this enigma. Suspended in geostationary orbit above PSR 47b, the station housed some of humanity's brightest minds, all working tirelessly to understand the implications of such a discovery. For months, they observed the planet remotely, deploying probes to collect data without risking direct contact. Yet despite their caution, no one could have anticipated what happened when they finally activated the temporal resonance core, a device intended to stabilize interactions with the planet's bizarre temporal field. The first sign something was wrong came during calibration tests. Instruments monitoring the core began registering events occurring in reverse sequence, energy spikes appearing milliseconds after they should have dissipated, particles moving against predicted trajectories, even audio recordings playing backward. At first, the team dismissed these phenomena as glitches, but Dr. Carter grew increasingly uneasy. She noticed patterns emerging, patterns suggesting intelligence behind the chaos. Then came the day when telemetry cameras captured something impossible: humanoid silhouettes flickering into existence within the resonance chamber. When questioned, none of her colleagues admitted entering the restricted area. That night, Evelyn stayed late in the lab, running simulations to explain the anomaly. As she stared at the glowing core, a sudden wave of dizziness overtook her. When she regained focus, she found herself face to face with herself. Or rather, a version of herself older, wearier, and clad in tattered remnants of a familiar uniform. The apparition spoke in a voice both foreign and hauntingly familiar. "I don't know what you've unleashed." The encounter left Evelyn shaken, though she initially dismissed it as exhaustion-induced hallucination. However, reports from other crew members soon confirmed similar experiences. Each scientist had encountered a counterpart resembling an aged, disheveled version of themselves. These reverse versions claimed to hail from an alternate future, one where humanity had been annihilated by an alien invasion originating from PSR 47b. According to them, the planet wasn't merely a curiosity, it was a nexus point for temporal convergence, a place where timelines collided and realities merged. At first, skepticism ruled the station. How could anyone believe such fantastical claims? Yet inconsistencies began piling up. Equipment malfunctions occurred only when the future counterparts were present, and certain predictions they made about specific failures or impending disasters proved eerily accurate. Slowly, reluctantly, the team accepted that these visitors weren't figments of imagination but genuine manifestations of their own lives twisted by catastrophe. Among the most vocal skeptics was Dr. Marcus Hale, the station's chief engineer. A pragmatist to his core, Marcus refused to entertain notions of parallel universes or time paradoxes. He argued that the so-called future selves were likely projections generated by the temporal resonance core, artifacts of unstable technology rather than actual beings. His stance softened only after his own counterpart appeared, bearing scars, both physical and emotional, that seemed far too personal to fabricate. They call themselves the Echoes, Evelyn explained during a heated briefing. They claim we're standing at a crossroads. If we continue experimenting with the core, we'll trigger the very invasion they warned us about. But how do we know they're telling the truth? Marcus countered. For all we know, they're trying to sabotage our research. Evelyn hesitated, glancing at the hollow display showing fragmented images of the planet below. Because every piece of evidence points to one conclusion: they are us. Just broken versions of us. As tensions mounted, the echoes revealed more about their doomed timeline. In their world, humanity's hubris led to reckless experimentation with PSR 47b's temporal fields. Unbeknownst to researchers, the planet served as a beacon for an ancient extraterrestrial species known as the Verath, a nomadic race capable of manipulating time itself. Drawn to the resonance emitted by human activity, the Verath descended upon Earth, erasing entire civilizations in their quest to preserve cosmic balance. By the time humanity realized the threat, it was already too late. The Echo's accounts painted a grim picture of survival. Cities reduced to ash, skies perpetually darkened by temporal storms, and scattered resistance cells fighting futile battles against an unstoppable foe. Their presence aboard the Chronos station represented a desperate bid to alter history, to warn their past selves before the cycle repeated. Yet bridging the gap between timelines proved challenging. Communication faltered due to incompatible temporal frequencies, and prolonged exposure to the resonance core caused debilitating side effects, including memory loss and cognitive dissonance. Despite these obstacles, Evelyn forged an uneasy alliance with her Echo, who introduced herself simply as Eve. Unlike her younger counterpart, Eve carried the weight of countless failures, her eyes hollow yet fiercely determined. She urged Evelyn to shut down the core permanently, arguing that continued use would only accelerate the timeline toward disaster. "We tried everything," Eve confessed during one clandestine meeting. "We fought, we hid, we begged for mercy. Nothing worked. The Verath aren't conquerors, they're exterminators. To them, we're vermin disrupting the natural order." "And you think destroying the core will stop them?" Evelyn asked, skepticism creeping into her tone. "No," Eve admitted. "But it'll buy you time. Time to find another way." The debate over whether to trust the Echoes split the crew into factions. Some, like Evelyn, believed cooperation offered the best chance of averting catastrophe. Others, led by Marcus, viewed the Echoes as potential saboteurs whose motives remained unclear. Tempers flared during meetings, accusations flew, and productivity plummeted as paranoia gripped the station. Amid the chaos, Dr. Priya Patel, the xenobiologist assigned to analyze samples retrieved from PSR 47b, uncovered startling evidence supporting the Echo's warnings. Microscopic organisms embedded in atmospheric particles bore genetic markers consistent with intelligent design, far beyond anything naturally occurring. More alarmingly, these organisms exhibited behaviors mimicking predatory instincts, targeting artificial energy sources with uncanny precision. "This isn't just biology," Priya announced during a tense presentation. "It's bioengineering. Whatever created these things intended them to seek out and neutralize threats." Her findings tipped the scales in favor of collaboration. With mounting proof of the Verath's existence, the crew begrudgingly agreed to work alongside their Echoes. Under Evelyn's leadership, they devised a plan to stabilize the temporal resonance core while simultaneously developing countermeasures against potential invasion. This dual strategy required unprecedented coordination between two versions of the same team, each contributing knowledge unique to their respective timelines. Yet progress came at a cost. Prolonged interaction with the Echoes took a toll on everyone involved. Memories blurred, identities fractured, and boundaries between past and future selves became dangerously porous. Evelyn found herself struggling to distinguish her thoughts from Eve's, their shared consciousness bleeding together like ink spilled across paper. The decision to trust the Echoes and proceed with the harmonic disruption plan marked a turning point for the Chronos station. Yet, as preparations intensified, so did the psychological toll on the crew. The constant interaction with their future selves blurred the lines between present and past, creating cognitive dissonance that manifested in erratic behavior. Evelyn noticed subtle changes in her own thoughts, memories she couldn't recall experiencing, flashes of emotions tied to events yet to occur. Marcus, meanwhile, grew increasingly withdrawn. His counterpart, an embittered version of himself who had lost his family during the Veyrath invasion, haunted him with grim predictions about the futility of their efforts. "You'll see," the older Marcus would mutter during late-night conversations. "No matter what you do, they always find a way." Despite his outward skepticism, it was clear the warnings gnawed at him, planting seeds of doubt that threatened to undermine morale. To mitigate these effects, Priya proposed implementing strict protocols limiting direct contact between the two groups. Communication would be restricted to scheduled briefings and all interactions monitored by AI systems designed to detect signs of temporal contamination. While controversial, the measures helped restore some semblance of order, allowing the team to focus on the task at hand. Meanwhile, technical challenges mounted. Harmonizing the core's output required precise calculations, accounting for variables ranging from quantum fluctuations to gravitational anomalies unique to PSR 47b. Every adjustment risked destabilizing the station itself, forcing the engineers into a delicate balancing act. Progress was slow, fraught with setbacks and recalibrations, but the stakes left no room for error. As the days stretched into weeks, the crew began uncovering deeper truths about the nature of time and consciousness. Dr. Amir Hassan, the station's neuroscientist, conducted experiments to study the cognitive impact of prolonged exposure to reversed temporal fields. What he discovered astonished even him. The echoes weren't merely projections or alternate versions of themselves. They were fragments of their own psyches displaced across time. "This isn't just memory overlap," Amir explained during one debriefing session. "It's synchronization. Our minds are syncing with theirs, creating a feedback loop. That's why you feel their emotions, share their experiences." The revelations sparked heated discussions. Some viewed it as proof of the echo's authenticity. Others saw it as evidence of their instability. Evelyn found herself caught in the middle, torn between her duty as leader and her growing bond with Eve. Their connection transcended logic, rooted in something primal and instinctual, a shared sense of purpose born from desperation. "You're stronger than I was," Eve admitted during one of their private moments. Her voice carried a mix of admiration and regret. "I let fear dictate my choices. Don't make the same mistake." Evelyn nodded, though uncertainty lingered in her eyes. She couldn't shake the feeling that Eve's presence was both a blessing and a curse, a lifeline tethering her to hope, yet a reminder of the cost of failure. The breakthrough came unexpectedly when Priya cross-referenced biological data from PSR 47b's atmosphere with readings from the temporal resonance core. She identified a previously undetected symbiotic relationship between the planet's organisms and its temporal field. These microorganisms didn't just feed off energy, they amplified it, acting as conduits for the Veyratha's influence. "This explains how they track us," Priya said, excitement coloring her tone. "Every experiment we conduct sends ripples through time, alerting them to our presence. It's like ringing a dinner bell." Her findings prompted a radical shift in strategy. Instead of attempting to shut down the core entirely, the team decided to manipulate its emissions to mask human activity. By introducing counterfrequencies derived from the organism's genetic code, they hoped to create a temporal shield capable of hiding the station from Veyrath detection. The plan was risky, requiring real-time adjustments based on unpredictable environmental factors. But it offered a glimmer of hope, a chance to neutralize the threat without triggering catastrophic consequences. With renewed determination, the crew threw themselves into implementation, working around the clock to refine the shielding algorithm. Tensions reached a boiling point as the deadline approached. Equipment malfunctions became more frequent, straining resources and testing the limits of human endurance. Arguments erupted over minor disagreements, exacerbated by fatigue and mounting pressure. Even Evelyn, usually composed under stress, snapped at Marcus during a critical meeting. "We don't have time for your paranoia," she shouted, slamming her fist on the table. "If we don't act now, there won't be a future to argue about." Marcus glared back, unyielding. "And if we screw this up, we'll condemn billions to die. You think I haven't considered that?" Their clash ended abruptly when an alarm blared throughout the station. A sudden surge in temporal energy destabilized the core, threatening to breach containment. Everyone scrambled to stabilize the system, their personal conflicts momentarily forgotten in the face of imminent disaster. Through coordinated effort and sheer luck, the team managed to avert catastrophe. The incident served as a wake-up call, reminding everyone of the stakes involved. Slowly, grudges dissolved, replaced by a renewed commitment to work together. With the core stabilized, attention turned to deploying the temporal shield. The process required simultaneous activation of multiple emitters positioned around the station's perimeter. Timing was crucial. Any delay could compromise the shield's integrity, rendering it ineffective against Verath sensors. To ensure success, Evelyn divided the crew into specialized teams, each responsible for a specific aspect of deployment. Marcus oversaw engineering operations, leveraging insights provided by his Echo to anticipate potential failures. Priya coordinated biological monitoring, ensuring the counterfrequencies aligned perfectly with the organism's natural rhythms. Meanwhile, Evelyn focused on maintaining communication between teams, serving as the linchpin holding everything together. As the final preparations unfolded, the Echoes took on a more active role, guiding their younger counterparts through tasks only they fully understood. Their contributions proved invaluable, bridging gaps in knowledge and preventing costly mistakes. For the first time since their arrival, the crew embraced their presence not as liabilities, but as allies. Activation day arrived amidst a tense silence. The station hummed with anticipation as countdown timers ticked toward zero. Each team member stood at their post, hearts pounding with a mixture of dread and resolve. When the moment came, Evelyn gave the signal, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. Initiate sequence. One by one, the emitters roared to life, bathing the station in pulsating waves of light. On the central monitor, graphs displayed fluctuating energy levels as the shield expanded outward, enveloping the station in a protective cocoon. For several agonizing minutes, nothing happened. Then, gradually, readings indicated reduced temporal interference, an indication the shield was working. Cheers erupted across the station, relief washing over exhausted faces. But Evelyn knew better than to celebrate prematurely. The shield might hide them temporarily, but it wouldn't hold indefinitely. They still needed a permanent solution. While the shield bought them time, the Echoes revealed another piece of the puzzle, the existence of a dormant gateway buried deep within PSR 47B's crust. According to their timeline, the Verath used this portal to enter normal space, bypassing conventional travel methods. If the crew could locate and destroy it, they might sever the aliens' link to the planet entirely. The proposition was risky. Landing on PSR 47B meant facing its hostile environment firsthand, where time flowed unpredictably and survival was far from guaranteed. Yet the potential payoff outweighed the dangers. After much deliberation, Evelyn authorized a reconnaissance mission, selecting volunteers willing to undertake the perilous journey. Among those chosen was Marcus, whose expertise in engineering made him indispensable. Though initially reluctant, he agreed after his Echo urged him to confront his fears head-on. "This is your chance to rewrite the story," the older Marcus told him. "Don't let regret define you." Accompanying him were Priya, tasked with analyzing alien biology, and Lieutenant Ria Torres, head of security. Together, they boarded a dropship equipped with advanced shielding technology, descending into the heart of the temporal storm. Touchdown on PSR 47B felt surreal. The landscape shifted unnaturally, mountains rising and crumbling within seconds, rivers flowing upstream before reversing direction. Time dilation zones created pockets of accelerated or decelerated reality, forcing the team to navigate carefully. Communication with the station remained spotty, further isolating them from support. Their objective lay kilometers away, hidden beneath layers of rock and temporal distortion. Progress was slow, hindered by environmental hazards and equipment malfunctions. At one point, Ria saved Marcus from being crushed by collapsing debris, reinforcing the importance of teamwork in such extreme conditions. Priya's analysis confirmed the presence of the gateway, detecting massive concentrations of bioengineered organisms surrounding it. They're guarding it, she surmised, like antibodies protecting a host. Destroying the structure posed significant challenges. Traditional explosives proved ineffective against its adaptive defenses, while direct interference risked destabilizing the planet's core. Drawing on insights from the echoes, the team devised a plan to overload the gateway using reverse polarity charges synchronized with the organism's natural frequencies. Execution of the plan required precision timing and flawless coordination. As Marcus planted charges around the gateway, Priya monitored organism activity, adjusting frequencies to prevent premature detection. Rhea maintained a defensive perimeter, ready to fend off any threats. When the charges detonated, the resulting explosion sent shockwaves rippling through the temporal field. The gateway imploded spectacularly, collapsing inward as if consumed by its own energy. For a brief moment, the team feared they had triggered a chain reaction that would destroy the entire planet. But as the dust settled, readings indicated the temporal field had stabilized, reverting to a dormant state. Returning to the station, they were greeted as heroes. The destruction of the gateway effectively severed the Veyrath's connection to PSR 47b, eliminating the immediate threat. Yet questions remained about the species' true motives and capabilities. Had they truly been exterminators, or was their intervention part of a larger cosmic design? In the aftermath, the crew reflected on their journey. Bonds forged through adversity strengthened the team, while lessons learned reshaped their understanding of time and existence. Evelyn, in particular, emerged transformed, her perspective broadened by the sacrifices made along the way. The echoes, having fulfilled their purpose, began fading away. Eve was the last to vanish, offering Evelyn a final message. Remember, time isn't linear, it's infinite. Use it wisely. Though saddened by their departure, Evelyn took solace in knowing their legacy lived on. Humanity had been given a second chance, a rare opportunity to chart a new course guided by wisdom and humility. Under Evelyn's leadership, the Chronos Station transitioned into a research hub dedicated to studying temporal phenomena responsibly. Protocols established during the crisis became standard practice, ensuring future explorations prioritized caution over ambition. Years later, PSR 47b remained a testament to humanity's resilience and capacity for growth. Once feared as a harbinger of doom, it now symbolized hope, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable odds, unity and ingenuity could prevail. For Evelyn, the experience defined her life's work. She often returned to the observation deck, gazing at the planet below with a mixture of awe and gratitude. Its swirling clouds no longer represented danger but possibility, a frontier waiting to be explored with care and respect. If you've enjoyed this thrilling exploration of time, sacrifice, and redemption, consider subscribing to our channel for more mind-bending adventures across the cosmos. Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable odyssey through science fiction's boundless realms. Subscribe now and embark on your next great journey among the stars.